What's good YouTube? It's your boy Fate, and welcome to my second video of What Is It? Well, this episode I'm going to be talking about a game that when I heard was coming to the Xbox preview program, I pretty much damn near immediately made a hype video shortly after finding out that information. That game I'm talking about, Rivals of Aether. So, hype aside, let's get into it. So, Rivals of Aether, what is it? Well, it is a 2D arena brawler game. It's in the indie, obviously, being that it's in the preview program. Most games tend to be indies, with some awesome pixel art, an enjoyable soundtrack. I have to say, I really do dig the soundtrack, and a really simple roster. So, we're going to first talk about gameplay. The game in its current state plays rather solidly. I mean, you could definitely liken it to that of Smash Bros, especially being that the guy behind Rivals of Aether, Dan Fornes, is a big Smash Bros fan. So, not surprised. Plus, a lot of people can say it kind of does have that same vibe. Plus, the control schemes can kind of feel like it, but it does have its differences to make it its own beast. Now, the controls are responsive, though I had to make a custom button layout because the default layout to me was a bit too confusing, and I ended up killing myself because Y was jump and I'm used to my A being jump. But yeah, getting back on topic. The level design, I'd have to say, also is good, and that's for both the Aether maps and the basic maps. And the champions feel rather balanced. Now, just as a disclaimer, the only reason why I use the word balanced mainly is because of the champions all having the same mechanics. They all have light attacks, strong attacks, they all have the ability to dodge, parry, counter, and a recovery skill, just that each person's skill set, of course, is unique. Now, I did briefly cover the roster in my hype video, which I'll link in the description below, or probably throw an annotation up on the screen, so if I do, you can click on it on the screen. But I'll elaborate a bit more here. Now, the roster is simple. I mean, very simple. You're looking at 8 champions to choose from. Now, I understand the logic behind it, which is so that each element of water, fire, earth, and air have 2 champions respectively. And I know it's usually better to have better quality characters than a large quantity of characters and they technically be crap or just fodder or characters nobody ever plays with. Now, there also seems to be no definitive background to the lore of why this is all going on, as the story option right now is locked. So I mean, there is some explanations to the characters themselves, but we have to get a better understanding of the lore for the game's main plot line when that story mode is released. So we'll have to wait and see. So now I'm going to give a brief description of the champions. First up, water. Now, water has Arcane, which is like a dolphin, I guess, or well, kind of like a whale with 4 legs, that uses water droplets for both offensive maneuvers and map control. Then, accompanying Arcane is Catalyst, who is a rather large polar bear that uses ice to both freeze enemies and also to damage their enemies, and they're pretty solid at map control. Next is Fire. For Fire, they have Zetaburn, who is a lion who does lots of DOA, thinking of dead or alive, a lot of damage over time, or DOT damage, and also has a recovery skill that's similar to that of Fox's Foxfire. And then there's Frostburn, who is like a hyena or jackal and uses smoke and clones for confusion and recovery. Next, we're going to move over to my personal favorite element, Earth. Now, Earth is my current favorite element in this game because my main is Maple, who is a ferret who uses seeds, vines, and a Venus flytrap plant to pretty much control their enemies' space, I guess I could say. Yeah, spacing, I guess that's a, fighting term. I'm still new to this whole genre, so pardon me. Then there's Crag, who is a rhinoceros beetle that uses rocks, and yeah, he's pretty cool to play with too. Probably one of my least favorite to play against, but definitely cool to play with. And then lastly, we have Air. Air has Raster, I think that's how you say his name, which is a bird. I'm not sure what type of bird, but he pretty much predominantly has the largest aerial game and I believe the fastest speed, and it's increased more with his I believe neutral strong that shoots out this little tornado, and while he's inside the tornado he gains more movement speed. And then there's Absa, which is a sheep who uses electricity and clouds. She kind of reminds me of Pikachu minus the clouds part. Now, each champion, like I said, has their own unique way of utilizing their respective elements, and they all require different approaches to handling them, whether you're the user or the opponent going up against them. So, let's move on to the maps. The map choice is actually decent, being that there's two versions of each map. First is the Aether version, which has hazards and or interactables that can either help you secure the stock of your opponent or cause you to lose yours, all the same. For example, one map has a giant plant, kind of like the plants you see in Super Mario that pops out the tubes that kill Mario, that will come up from the side that will try to eat whatever player or players that are within range. Then another map has a Ferris wheel that rotates in the middle and can, save you from some critical damage as it's moving up, and therefore make more platforms to give you a bit more variety. Plus, on the sides, there are two pumps that you can hit once they're full of water to release the pressure and the water, and therefore damage your enemies, and also launching them up in the air to possibly get a kill as well. Then you have your basic version of these maps, which is your traditional static map. Now, also, like the characters, each map does require different tactics to play on, so it'd be best to play them and learn their individual mechanics to keep you ahead. Let's move on to the game modes. Now, right now, the game is more so geared towards the competitive play and online play more so than offline. The offline modes are pretty scarce. I mean, it's popular for local, and it's also really strong, especially being that there are tournaments being held for it, so that's pretty cool. But also, you can do versus up to 4 players. You can either play with bots up to level 9, kind of like you do in Smash Bros, or you can play with your friends, or you can go into practice mode just to play around with your character. So until they unlock the story and abyss modes, there's not much else really to do online. Though it would have been awesome to have an arcade mode, similar to like Brawlhalla does, or Smash Bros has their own little story arcade thing. But, can't have it all. Now, in regards to online, there's a few modes to choose from. If you're looking for a relaxed yet hardcore online experience, similar to almost every other fighting game that you can play, you're going to go for Exhibition. You get matched against a random online opponent, and honestly, it's a great way to get practice in before hopping over to Ranked. Now, Ranked is for those looking for the more demanding challenge. You do have an ELO or rank, and depending on your winning or losing, it will fluctuate up or down. Lose too many. I don't know if there's a tier system, but I know if you lose too many, your number goes down. Win enough, your number goes up, etc. And then lastly, for those who just want a more laid-back experience for online, there's Friendly. In this mode, you do need friends who own the game. And if any of them do, you can send them an invite and play against them in a private lobby with your own custom rules, etc., etc. So, with all that said and done, that pretty much wraps up all that I have to tell you about Rivals of Aether. I'd have to say overall, the game in terms of roster is small, but the solid mechanics and gameplay help make up for that shortcoming and still keep the game rather enjoyable. So, if you're on Xbox and looking for that Super Smash Bros. Fix, definitely give Rivals of Aether a shot. Now, mind you, the game is still in an early access state, so there's going to be a lot of updates before it's released fully. I'm not sure also how far behind the console version is to the PC version, but I would say it's best to keep an eye on the PC changelogs to see what's in store for the game. Now, unlike Happy Dungeons that I covered in my first episode, this game follows your traditional preview, in which you get a trial. The trial is 30 minutes, so make the best of it while you can. And if you enjoy it, pick it up. I believe it's only $15. Yeah, I think it's $15. So, I'm now going to take my leave. I'm going to go try my hands at ranked. Hopefully I don't go on tilt and get my ass handed to me too many times. But, this has been your boy Fate. Catch you next time, YouTube. Peace. Hey guys, it's your boy Fate. And if you're listening to this, that means you made it to the end of my video. And I greatly appreciate you doing so. So, if you enjoyed the content, please hit that subscribe button. Greatly help, as long as with a like. That'll help me know that I'm doing good videos and will keep me motivated to produce more content. So, with that said, peace.